I'm going to solve through problems at 6-5. I think the exercises are pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to go over them. Let's go straight into the problems. Number 1, we have to plot the complex number and then calculate its trigonometric form. So for A, we have z equals 1 plus I. We're going to first calculate the magnitude r. So the magnitude here is going to be root 2. So we'll factor that out. And so this corresponds to a point here. Angle pi over 4. So in trigonometric form, we'll want to make sure that you have cosine plus I sine, and your radius here must be positive. Next, we have 5 minus 5i. So the magnitude is 5 root 2, and if we factor it, we'll get 5 root 2 minus root 2 over 2 minus root 2 over 2i. So graphically, that is going to be right here, and the radius is 5 root 2. This should be an angle of 7 pi over 4. So cosine 7 pi over 4 plus I sine 7 pi over 4. Could have also had 5 root 2 times cosine negative pi over 4 plus I sine negative pi over 4. That's fine too. Part C, 1 minus root 3i. I think this was the classwork. So the magnitude here is 2. We'll factor out that. So it's going to be here. It's an angle of 5 pi over 3. Plus I sine 5 pi over 3. Could have also had negative pi over 3. Part D, negative 5i. So here we are going to have to factor out the magnitude once again. Remember that the r, right, the r in r cosine theta plus I sine theta has to be positive. And so we can't factor out negative 5. We have to factor out positive 5. So we'll do that. We have 5, and then it's helpful to write a 0 here. 5 minus I. And so if we plot that, we can see that we're going to be right here with an angle of 3 pi over 2. So that means that we have 5 times cosine 3 pi over 2 plus I sine 3 pi over 2. Could have also had 5 cosine negative pi over 2 plus I sine negative pi over 2. Question E. -1. Okay, remember, that's also a complex number. And we're going to factor out the magnitude of -1, which is 1. So this becomes 1 times -1, and then plus 0i. That's implied, right? And so if we were to plot this, we would be right here, and that's an angle of pi. And so this would correspond to cosine pi plus I sine pi. F, we have -2, 1 plus root 3i. So before we go on, we have to expand this into a standard form. And then if we calculate the magnitude, we are going to get, square root of 4 plus 12 gives us 4. And so that means we can factor out 4, and we're going to be left with -1/2 minus root 3 over 2i. If we plot that, -1/2 minus root 3 over 2, right here, that angle is 4 pi over 3. So we have 4 times cosine 4 pi over 3 plus I sine 4 pi over 3. Could have also had 4 times cosine -2 pi over 3 plus I sine -2 pi over 3. Let's go to question 2. We just have to write these in standard form, which is not hard. We just calculate those trig functions. So 2 cosine pi over 3 plus I sine pi over 3. Might be helpful to first plot it, since we're given the angle and the radius. It's going to be right here, right? Now evaluating this, we have 2 times 1/2 plus root 3 over 2i. Sorry, give me 1 second. Checking my phone. Okay, and then we expand this, and we'll have 1 plus root 3i. I think that should be right. Then we have 5 cosine 3 pi over 4 plus I sine 3 pi over 4. There's the plot there. We know the radius and the angle. Nope, just 2 parts. Okay, number 3. Okay, number 3 is very interesting. I may or may not have written it myself, and it's supposed to inspire us for the next lecture, 6-6. And so it's giving us these two products of two complex numbers in trigonometric form, and it wants us to write the entire product in trigonometric form. And so in order to do that, you're first going to have to simplify it into the normal standard form, meaning evaluate the trig functions, and then expand it, and then convert it back to an angle. So it's definitely tricky, but very interesting. This will highlight some deep things about math. Okay, so the first one, we have cosine pi over 3 plus I sine pi over 3 times cosine pi over 3 plus I sine pi over 3. Okay, so in other words, we're squaring it. So first, let's evaluate every trig function. We're going to have 1/2 plus root 3 over 2i times 1/2 plus root 3 over 2i. Then if we FOIL this, we'll have 1/4 plus root 3 over 2i plus, make it simpler, okay, and that should be our expansion. And then we want to note that I squared actually equals -1, right? So that'll help us in simplifying this. And so what we're going to end up with is actually 1/4 plus root 3 over 2i minus 3/4, which will give us -1/2 plus root 3 over 2i. Okay, then if we plotted this on our unit circle, that's going to give us this point, right? -1/2 comma root 3 over 2. And so that angle is actually 2 pi over 3. And so what we have in trigonometric form is cosine 2 pi over 3 plus I sine 2 pi over 3. Okay, so it seems like pi over 3 times pi over 3 will give us 2 pi over 3. Very interesting. We can scratch our heads at that and think about it. Let's do the next one. Here we have cosine pi over 4 plus I sine pi over 4 times cosine 3 pi over 4 plus I sine 3 pi over 4. And so if we evaluate each one, we'll have 2 over 2 plus root 2 over 2i, and then negative root 2 over 2 plus root 2 over 2i. And then if we expand this, we'll have -1/2 minus, let's do plus 1/2 I minus 1/2 I plus 1/2 I squared. Remember, 1/2 I squared is -1/2, and so this is going to come out to -1. Okay, and how do we write -1 in trigonometric form? Well, -1 is here, so the radius is 1, and the angle is pi. And so this is going to be cosine pi plus I sine pi. Okay, what do we notice? Pi over 4 times 3 pi over 4, giving us pi. Let's do the next one. Cosine 5 pi over 6 plus I sine 5 pi over 6 times cosine -pi over 6 plus I sine -pi over 6. Okay, let's calculate each one. Cosine 5 pi over 6, negative root 3 over 2, plus 1/2 I times cosine negative pi over 6, which is root 3 over 2, minus 1/2 I. All right, what is this going to give us? Let's expand it. We have negative 3/4 plus root 3 over 4i plus root 3 over 4i minus 1/4 I squared. Minus 1/4 I squared is positive 1/4, so we have negative 1/2 plus root 3 over 2i. And we just saw this earlier, didn't we? This is just going to be cosine 2 pi over 3 plus I sine 2 pi over 3. Okay, and so what do we see? 5 pi over 6 times negative pi over 6 giving us 2 pi over 3. And I hope you guys can see the relationship between these three questions and maybe think about what a potential formula might be.